Okay, now I'm going to talk about the surgery. I had a C5-C6 anterior discectomy with a fusion. So basically what the neurosurgeon did is he went in through the front of my neck and he got out the old disc. He also had to take some special tools and go in and get all of that bone spur stuff out. That was really compressing on my nerves, especially in the hole, the foramen I talked about in a prior video where the nerve roots come out. The two vertebrae, C5-C6, were actually starting to try to fuse themselves because my disc had degenerated so much at C5-C6. But they weren't really trying to fuse it. They didn't know how to fuse it correctly. So he goes in through the front. He takes that disc out, puts a spacer in. He said that what he normally does is he has different trials for different size spacers. So he has things hooked up to your nerves to make sure that he's not irritating the nerves, and the people will tell him, okay, you know, be careful or whatever. And then he takes that disc out, he puts a spacer in, he kind of moves around, sees is that the right size. Then he might take one that's a little bit bigger, puts it in, decides what size he needs. He puts that spacer in. That's after he's already scraped out all the bone spurs. He's already taken the bad disc out, and he'll put the spacer in. Then he takes the plate. Since I only had one level, C5-C6, it was a small plate with 4 screws. Now, this part freaked me out before the surgery because I did look at pictures of what he was going to do, and it really freaked me out thinking about the fact that he was going in through the front of my neck. He was going to have to push the trachea and the esophagus out of the way, watch out for the carotid artery, and get in there and do the neck. So my advice is make sure you get a neurosurgeon that you like and that you really trust, because my neurosurgeon has such a great bedside manner. He's obviously very intelligent. He's been doing these surgeries for years. He's 64 years old, so he's done tons of neck surgeries. You want to go in there knowing that you have confidence in your surgeon, and then that helps with the fear. It also helped me to go and look at YouTube videos like this where you hear about people who had successful surgeries. So some surgeons don't recommend it. My surgeon's pretty conservative, so he does recommend that I wear the brace 24/7, even in the shower and when I'm sleeping. I have a follow-up tomorrow, and I will find out what he thinks. But I'm going to go ahead and take this off just to kind of show you what's going on here. And as you can see, now it looks worse than it actually is. There's markings on that bandage, and when that bandage comes off, the swelling has gone down a lot. When that bandage comes off, I'll really be able to see the scar. But some of the problems I had with the neck brace is you can see I have a rash here, here, and here, and I got a heat rash all around my neck. I would really sweat with this neck brace on. Let me just Velcro it back. I would really sweat with the neck brace on, and it would cause me to get a heat rash. So you might want to take some powder, take some hydrocortisone cream with you to the hospital, or just have it handy when you get back from the hospital, because I'm not able to drive yet. So I could send my husband out to get, he'd get whatever I need, but we already had some hydrocortisone cream. The neck brace that he gave me, I've seen a lot of pictures of this. They did give me removable pads, so I have a pair that I just washed, and these Velcro in and out. And you know what? This neck brace is actually, it's not that uncomfortable. It's awkward when I had more swelling. It felt tighter. I still have some problems swallowing just because I can still feel a little bit of pain there. But I'll tell you what happened when I first came out of surgery. Now, what people need to understand is that they put you in a really awkward position during surgery. And it's a position that if you were awake, you would not be able to tolerate. They lay you on your back, and they have your neck on this roll thing. And then what I didn't realize is that they took my arms and they pull them down towards my feet. I'm laying on my back, and they're pulling my arms down towards my feet to open up that space so he can really get in there. So you may end up having some bruises. I had a pretty, I don't even know if you can see that. It's a pretty green, where I had bruises on both arms, where you could actually see where they had pulled my arms down. And when I woke up out of surgery, I was in a lot of pain. The back of my neck and then my right arm. Of course, he went in through the right side. This caused some more swelling over here, all up into the neck, and I had a lot of pain up through my trap muscles, all the way down up in my shoulder and my right arm. My left arm, where I had all the symptoms of the nerve pain, that was gone. That was completely gone. The only time that I've had those symptoms return is when I've done a little bit too much around the house because I'm supposed to be recovering. And in my first week home, there were a couple of days where I probably did a little more than I should have, and I had to call the surgeon because I was starting to have nerve pain. And what happened was I was having more swelling up there where those nerves are still trying to repair themselves. Coming out of surgery, this does the incision where he cut. It does hurt. It's hard to swallow, so you're not going to want to eat. You don't want to come out of surgery and eat some Doritos or something really crunchy or hard. But you don't. It's not like you have to have milkshakes, but you just want to start out with things that are soft, so that when you swallow anything hard that you swallow, you're going to feel it on that incision. The swelling has continued to go down. Now what I do, another tip, is I wear a Fitbit. So when I first got out of surgery, it was obvious I was not taking very many steps during the day. And then it's been nice to keep up. And if I have a day where the next day I feel really bad, I look at how many steps I took the day before and I realize, okay, I really upped my exercise around the house and maybe I did too much. And that's been a really good indicator of, okay, maybe lay off a little bit and let your body heal. The surgery so far seems to have been very successful. The first few nights were, difficult. I spent one night in the hospital. They had to adjust my meds. I was on Dilaudid, and I had a pain pump, and I thought that it was working because I was so out of it. I thought I wasn't feeling pain, but what it was doing is it was actually making me out of it, but it wasn't controlling the pain. So they took me off of that and switched me to Percocet while in the hospital, and we got to a good dosage for that, and I also had a muscle relaxer, and that has really helped. Once I've been home, the muscles start to try to heal, and they get tight, and being able to have a muscle relaxer along with the pain pills, and I have weaned down off the pain pills a lot. I am sometimes going 8 hours without taking anything. I've actually been pretty surprised at, I don't have as much pain as I thought I would. I wasn't as hoarse as I thought I would be. I know some people are. I wasn't as hoarse. This didn't hurt as bad. The swelling has really gone down. The pain that I have sometimes is I can't do very much with my arms overhead, or if I'm laying and I'm holding my phone out or holding a book out for very long, I have to kind of rest my arms. My arms fatigue quickly and they start to hurt. And that's just part of the healing process. But as far as my symptoms after the surgery, all of this that I had going on seemed to be gone. I still have some surgical pain from how they positioned me, but it is amazing. I'm so glad I had the surgery. I trusted the surgeon. He came in before the surgery. I knew that I was in good hands. I had lots of people praying for me, which I know really, really helped a lot too. And I do feel like the surgery was a success. I can't wait to see the doctor tomorrow and see what he says and see if he wants me to keep wearing this 24/7 or if I might have permission to take it off a little. But I'm doing what he told me to do. And if I do too much one day, the next day I say, okay, I'm not going to mess up what he fixed, so I'm going to rest today. So that's good news. If you're thinking about having the surgery and you're having symptoms and the symptoms are getting worse and you know that the only option is surgery, just make sure you find a surgeon that you love, that you trust, that you know will take good care of you, because you want to go into surgery trusting your physician and knowing that you're in good hands. And then, your stress will be a lot less if you feel very confident about your surgeon's skills. And so I'll post an update after I see the surgeon tomorrow. And again, I'm 10 days post-op, and here's what the scar looks like. I don't really care that much about whether or not there's a scar, because I'm just so happy to be out of the pain that I'd been in for years. And I'm going to get this off tomorrow, and I'll be able to post a video, and you'll be able to see just how good it looks for, 10 days post-op. I think it's looking great, and I'm feeling great, and I'm still taking it easy around the house. And feel free to send me an email if you have any questions. And I do live in Colorado Springs, and so we have some great surgeons here, and there's some great surgeons in Denver too. So I'll post again later.